righty, everybody. Welcome to the special edition of the Spin Zone by Brownsville Tech Live. It is the start of the NFL Divisional Round playoffs this weekend, and we're pretty excited about that, even though our Dallas Cowboys are actually not in the playoffs. There is another Texas team that is still a contender. Whether they will be a contender moving forward, we don't know, but we're hoping and praying that at least they are able to survive Baltimore. But definitely it was a disappointing season for the Cowboys. There's no doubt that they didn't show up to the game last weekend. It appears that there was a younger team that was much hungrier than they were. And so as a
They were
result,
sleeping, sir. They were sleeping,
they
right?
were
Right, Dan, they
sleeping.
were sleeping.
Of
They were
course,
sleeping, right?
they were sleeping, and there was a younger team out there that was just hungry to make a point, as I mentioned the week before last. If you're hungry enough, you do everything possible to win or to succeed at whatever you do, right? So,
Yep, yep. And they did it. So, the
yep,
best team won. I send out my congratulations to them. All right. I'm still a little bit salty, but you know what? Hey, yeah, it is what it is.
yep.
It's only been since 1995 that we had our last Super Bowl. Or that even hurts. It hurts to say it, but you know what, Dan? One day at a time.
Yeah. Well, in fact, it's kind of funny. Somebody posted a meme out there where the grandson is actually asking the grandfather, "What is a Super Bowl?"
Mm-hmm. They're wearing the Cowboy jerseys, right?
Ay, ay, ay.
All right, that's
So.
not. That's all right. So
But
tell me, hey, what episode is this?
this is episode 21 for the
Wow.
season. So we have been on for 21 shows altogether since August, I believe. So we are at the tail end of the season. And so after, February 11th, we're going to go on vacation for at least,
Where are you going?
huh?
Where are you going?
I'm going to be jumping right into baseball season, I think, is what the plan is right now. So, you know. But we'll see. Maybe I'll take a few weeks off. I think we both need a few weeks off.
Well, hey, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. This is a good informational show. All right, a good sports show, and I believe that our followers have enjoyed having us. Going through the statistics of the injuries, going through the statistics of winning and losing. All right. It's been a good show, bro.
Yeah,
It was a good idea that you came up with, and I thank you for having me on.
not a problem. I've enjoyed having you and look forward to having you back the following season when it starts. And we also had raffles, by the way. We raffled a cowboy jersey, and
Yes, we did.
we hope to
Yes, we
do
did.
probably a few more of those next year. So, well, this coming year, this coming season. So,
Awesome.
all righty. Well, for anybody out there that's watching us tonight, I do want to mention that the chat line is open. So if anybody wants to chime in and chat, feel free to do so. We'll flip over to the screen with the chat on in a few minutes. So just wanted to let everybody know that that is available. So we'll go ahead and flip over to our virtual theater or whatever it's called these days. So like I said, the chat is already open for anybody that wants to chime in. So, and as you know, it's the divisional round playoffs this weekend, and we've got several teams vying on each side. We've got Baltimore, the first seed on the AFC division. They are playing Houston, and I'll have the dates later on in a slide. So, and then, of course, we've got Kansas City against Buffalo. And on the NFC side, we've got the first seed San Francisco against Green Bay. And we've also got the Detroit Lions against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And everybody on the gray, shaded in gray, are the teams that did not make it into the divisional round, including our beloved Cowboys. Where are they? What
Hey,
happened to
hey,
them?
hey, hey. You know what, Dan? You were saying that
Oh,
they're
they're
not going to be at the Super Bowl,
yeah.
right? They're
Oh
going to
yeah,
be there in the 50-yard line, right? So they're going to be there, right? Hey,
yeah. They're actually. You know what? They're actually down here at the bottom of the screen. I'm actually.
see, there, you see, hey, you see,
Yeah, they,
they're right there at the bottom, right? So
yeah,
they're
they
going to be
are.
there, right?
Yeah. So, oh, they will be there, crying, but they'll be there. Alrighty. So, once again, the first AFC divisional round matchup is this Saturday, January 20th at 4:30, and that's between the Texans and the Ravens.
Is it going to be in Houston or is it going to be?
Oh, I don't know. I did not go that far into researching. I should have. I usually say where it's going to be, but
Right.
I didn't. Well, because they're the first seed, the Ravens have probably home field advantage, so it'll probably be in Baltimore
Mm,
more than likely. So basically, just from a historical perspective, as we always do, we even though what they did in the season and in past previous seasons doesn't matter once you get to the playoffs, we do like to give a historical background on how they've matched up over the years. And the last time these two teams met was back in September 10th of this past year, and the Baltimore Ravens beat the Houston Texans 25-9. I won't necessarily go through the past previous years because they really don't matter. But
right.
at least for this year, the Baltimore Ravens did manage to beat the Houston Texans once again. But like I said, what happened this past year has no bearing on what can happen tomorrow. So
No, it doesn't. You're right. No bearing on it, and
as we found out the hard way.
upsets can happen and will happen, and we'll be like, how did that happen? But
Mm-hmm.
hey, all I can tell these teams is may the best team win.
Absolutely. So we're keeping track of injuries, and definitely we're keeping track of the injury trackers. There's several on the Houston Texans side. We've got the fullback Andrew Beck, who's out with a back injury. The guard Dieter Aiselin, he's out with some sort of illness. Jerry Hughes, the defensive end, he's out with an ankle injury. Shaq Mason, a guard, he's on bed rest. Sheldon Rankins, the defensive tackle, he's out with a rib shoulder injury. Laramie Tunsil, the offensive tackle, bed rest. Will Anderson Jr., the defensive end, he's out with an ankle injury. Blake Cashman, the linebacker, he's out with a knee injury. Malik Collins, defensive tackle, he's out with a hip injury. Jonathan Greenard, defensive end, out with an ankle injury. John Metchie, the third wide receiver, foot injury. Denzel Perryman, yeah, he's out with a rib injury. And then Robert Woods, wide receiver, out with a hip injury. Now, what I don't know, because I don't follow the Texans, like I do the Cowboys side, I don't know how critical some of these guys are to tomorrow's
Right.
game, or whether they've been critical throughout the season. Some of these guys may be third stringers for all we know. So we don't know. The same thing goes with any of the other teams, since we don't follow them through that much detail. I mean, it could be something that's decisive, or it could not. So it's just something
Mm-hmm.
to keep track about. On the Baltimore Ravens side, they've got a few less injuries, but Mark Andrews, the tight end, he's out with an ankle injury. Devin Duvernay, wide receiver, he's out with a back injury. Zay Flowers, wide receiver, he's out with a calf injury. Malik Harrison, linebacker, he messed up his groin. Marion Humphrey, the cornerback, calf. Odaf Awe, linebacker, he's out with an ankle injury. Deshaun Phillips, linebacker, shoulder injury. And Tylan Wallace, wide receiver, knee injury. Once again, I do not know the details of these players and how they're going to factor into tomorrow's game, obviously. But some of the highlights of that game, as we mentioned before, Baltimore is the AFC's top seed. This season, their standing was 14 wins and 3 losses. We know that Lamar Jackson is a dynamic player, possibly the AFC's MVP. Baltimore has one of the top defenses in the league. For 2023, Baltimore led the NFL with 60 sacks. The Ravens were third in the NFL with 18 interceptions and tied for the NFL lead with 31 takeaways. And of course, the quarterbacks that are going to match up is going to be CJ Stroud. Why did I have Dallas? I forgot to change that to Houston.
We all understand, right? We know you are a cowboy at heart, and every quarterback is a cowboy quarterback for you. So it's all good.
All right, so CJ Stroud is a Houston quarterback, and Lamar Jackson is a Baltimore quarterback. He appears to be headed towards MVP, by the way. So the next divisional round is the NFC side on Saturday, tomorrow, at 8:15. And that's with the Green Bay Packers, which the Cowboys lost to last week, against the San Francisco 49ers. And
That's a
just,
tough pill to swallow.
I know, it is a tough pill to swallow because Dallas could have been there, right? They could have been playing this game. So, the last time that these two met was back in 2022. And at the time, the 49ers beat the Packers 13-10. Once again, doesn't matter what happened this past season
Nope.
or any other season. So it'll be interesting to see if the 49ers, have a little hiccup like the Cowboys did against the Packers. And it depends how hungry the Packers show up tomorrow, too, right?
Right.
You know, of course,
That's what it depends on.
right? So of course, we're tracking injuries as well. San Francisco's got quite a few of them. Clelin Ferrell, defensive end, he's out with a knee injury. Dre Greenlaw, he is a linebacker. He's got an Achilles heel problem. Logan Ryan, the cornerback, he messed up his groin. Trent Williams, offensive tackle, he's resting. Eric Armstead, defensive end, he's got a foot and a knee injury. George Odom, defensive back, he's got some bicep problem. Hilaire Brown, safety, he's got a knee injury. John Feliciano, guard, he's got a back injury. Tashwan Gibson, safety, he's got a quadricep. Danny Gray, wide receiver, shoulder. George Kittle, tight end, back. Christian McCaffrey, running back, calf issue. Ambry Thomas, cornerback, hand.
Hey, now McCaffrey and Kittle, you know they're playing.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So
Like I said, it's hard to tell how many of these guys. And by the way, some of these, the actual injury reports were not available for this week. So I had to go to other outside sources from the typical place that I grabbed these from. And it was kind of questionable what was accurate with some of these
all
injuries.
right.
So on the Green Bay side, Jair Alexander, cornerback, he's out with a
Well,
shoulder.
we know he injured his foot, right?
Yeah. Well, it says shoulder ankle. So
Shoulder. Hey, somebody just started logging in. What's up, Leo? Welcome to the show.
yep.
How did my comment go up twice? Hey, Green Bay by 3 points.
Could happen.
Possibly.
Possibly. Well, we're going to get to the next
Possibly.
slide here. Kenny Clark, uh, back injury. A.J. Dillon, running back, thumb neck injury. Kingsley Enigbear, linebacker, a knee injury. Rashawn Gary, linebacker, knee injury. Elton Jenkins, guard, knee injury. Aaron Jones, running back, knee injury. Isaiah McDuffel, neck injury. Kelsian Nixon, defensive back, he's got a toe. Jonathan Owens, defensive back, a knee injury. Jaden Reed, wide receiver, chest. Darnell Savage, safety, a shoulder and a calf. Preston Smith, an ankle injury. Quay Walker, a shoulder injury. And Christian Watson, a hamstring. He says he
I'm sure.
guarantees it. Yeah, he says he guarantees it like Joe Namath.
uh,
So the highlights of the game is San Francisco is the NFC's top seed. They have
right.
home
Home field.
field advantage throughout the playoffs. They have had a bye week, so they've had some rest time. Their record was 12-5. Green Bay has had a 9-8 season, and Green Bay is the number 7 seed in the NFC playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And of course, the matchup is between Jordan Love, the Green Bay quarterback, against Brock Purdy, the San Francisco quarterback. So Purdy
I
has the
believe
flu.
that's fake news. I believe that's fake news that he's putting down.
Oh, about Purdy has the flu?
Yeah. Eh?
Surprised they didn't say he had COVID, right?
right.
You know, or something else. He is from San Francisco.
Well, you never know.
You never know, right? But that would be pretty quick. They take care of that real quick with pills now.
Uh-huh.
You know. Alrighty. And of course, on Sunday, there's more games. There's the NFC Divisional round between the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that's at 3 p.m. And of course, for anybody who is a historical buff, the last time these two met was back this past year in October the 15th, where the Detroit Lions beat the Buccaneers 20-6. Once again, it doesn't matter how they did in the season. All that
No, it
matters is what
doesn't.
happens this weekend. But just from a historical perspective, just want to give people a little history, not to make them shake or worry or anything like that. These were the injuries that were kind of questionable because I had to grab them from another database, unfortunately. But according to that other site, KJ Britt, the linebacker, he's questionable for tomorrow's game, and some of these places didn't actually mention what was wrong with them. So that was why I kind of was
Right.
trying to get as much information as I could. Mike Green, defensive tackle, he's out indefinitely. Josh Hayes, defensive back, questionable, and Baker Mayfield, uh, quarterback, he's questionable.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, who knows? Maybe some of this is fake news. According to
Mm-hmm.
Leo, Buccaneers will win by 7.
All right, Leo. We'll see. We'll see.
And on the Detroit Lions side, James Houston, linebacker, he's out with an ankle injury. Jerry Jacobs, cornerback, out with a thigh and knee injury. James Mitchell, tight end, hand injury. And Khalif Raymond, wide receiver, out with a knee injury. And of course, the game highlights is Tampa Bay is the number 4 seed in the NFC. Tampa Bay went 9-8 in their regular season, so they've got a similar record like the Green Bay Packers. Detroit is the number 3. Uh-oh. They're saying you're supposed to be at work.
I am at work. All right. What's the problem? I'm on my break.
It's a long break.
Hey.
Detroit is the number 3 seed in the NFC. They had a 12-5 record this season. And as I mentioned, Detroit previously beat Tampa Bay in week 6, 20-6. And Detroit is favored to beat the Tampa Bay
I don't
Buccaneers
like that. I don't
According,
like when you say it's favored. All
yeah,
right. It brings back memories of something else.
I
Now they were
know
favored.
the Cowboys were favored. They were favored to beat the Green Bay Packers, and that was favored with quotations,
Mm-hmm.
highlighted in bold and underline. With little
Italics and everything.
blinky lights.
Hmm.
Not good, not good. And of course, the quarterbacks that are going to be playing, even though the injury list said that Mayfield was questionable,
Right.
he'll be playing against Jared Goff from Detroit. And then, of course, the second game is the AFC Divisional round. That's at 6:30 p.m., and that's between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills.
Mr. Mahomes.
And yep, and of course, the last time these two met was back in December, the 10th to be exact. And the Buffalo Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs 20-17. And I can't remember what the deal was. And I had no injuries to report on the Kansas City
Even
side.
better.
But that doesn't mean that there aren't injuries. It's just that I couldn't find any.
It's all good.
But on the Buffalo Bills side, there were injuries, at least from the database that I was looking at. And Taylor Rapp, the safety, is out with a calf injury. Gabe Davis, the wide receiver, he's out with a knee injury. Leo says that the Chiefs will win by 3.
Oh well, hey, maybe.
I think you should start posting money bets on here.
Hey, imagine, man.
Razul Douglas, cornerback, he's out with a knee injury. Tyrell Dodson, linebacker, shoulder. Christian Benford, cornerback, a knee injury. Terrell Bernard, linebacker, ankle injury. Taron Johnson, cornerback, concussion. Balin Spector, linebacker, back injury. And Sam Martin, he's out with a hamstring, and he's the punter. So that's not good. I don't know if he's the main punter, though. So the highlights: Kansas City is the number 3 seed in the AFC. Kansas City had a 12-6 record in the regular season. Buffalo is the number 2 seed in the AFC. They went also 12-6. Previously, Buffalo beat Kansas City on the 23rd of December, 25-17, and Buffalo is favored in quotations to beat Kansas City.
There you go again with that word, favored.
They better they better, because Patrick Mahomes will probably be on fire, you know. And there's
You mean
Patrick.
the Swifties will be there?
Well, that's only of what's his name? Kelsey, what's his name?
Travis.
Travis Kelsey will be there. Yeah, Swifties. All the Swifties are going to be there. She'll be there.
Leo, are you gonna be there? Leo is the Swifty, man.
Oh, he's a Swiftie?
Yes, he is.
Man, she was freezing her butt last week, that's for sure. She had the future mother-in-law there too. Ya quería matar a la viejita. Of course, it doesn't matter because she's got more money than probably the entire planet. I mean,
Yep.
she can't get close to Elon Musk's money, but she's
Hey,
got money.
she has both sons in the NFL, right? Huh? Man.
I know. I know. Josh Allen, he's the Buffalo quarterback that will be playing. And of course, as we mentioned, this is the divisional round playoffs. Baltimore against Houston, Kansas City against Buffalo, San Francisco against Green Bay, and Detroit against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After this
All right,
weekend,
so Dad, what are your predictions on Buffalo and Houston?
it will. Well, I can tell you who's going to probably take. Baltimore will beat Houston.
Uh-huh. All right.
San
San Francisco
Francisco.
and Green Bay?
San Francisco will beat Green Bay.
Uh-huh. Kansas City and Buffalo?
That one's kind of tough, but I'm going to give it to Buffalo.
What?
Yeah.
On that one, I disagree with you. I say the Chiefs.
Okay.
All right. And Detroit and Tampa?
Detroit.
Yeah. Okay. So then it'll be Ravens against either Kansas City for me, San Francisco against Detroit
Yep.
for me,
And of
and for
course,
you it'll be Ravens against Buffalo, San Francisco against Detroit.
right. And Leo says the Ravens will win by 10.
Woo, man.
He's got to start putting money.
Well, he does. He does.
Well, but I can't. I can only do it in allotments of a dollar, multiples of a dollar. I don't have that kind of money. We're poor podcasters. Remember that. We don't.
Right,
We
right. We
don't.
don't get sponsored by anybody, Leo.
No,
All right,
we don't get
sorry.
sponsored by anybody. I don't own a restaurant. I don't go marry people. I just don't have that extra source of income. Poor, poor, poor podcaster. So,
Yes, 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 yes. So, all right.
all
Mm,
right. So the remaining playoff schedule is basically the divisional rounds that are going to happen tomorrow and Sunday, and the conference championship, where we will determine the AFC conference champion as well as the NFC conference champion. And the stations, don't ask me the stations for the divisional rounds. You'll have to go look that up yourself. But at least we know on the conference championship, it'll be the AFC is going to be broadcasted on CBS, and the NFC will be broadcasted on Fox. Baltimore versus Chiefs, Packers
wow.
versus Buccaneers.
So we're in agreement, myself and Leo, Baltimore versus Chiefs. We're not in agreement with the Packers and Buccaneers.
Yeah, he really wants San Francisco to lose.
Yes, he does.
Ay, ay, ay.
I believe Leo's a Miami Dolphin fan.
Ah, okay. So, all right. And of course, the big day for the Super Bowl is Sunday, February 11th at 6:30 p.m. And that's going to be broadcasted on your local CBS affiliate. For those of you here in El Valle, that is channel 23-2 for those that don't have cable like I do. And for those with cable, it's on channel 4. Yep. KVEO channel 4, by the way. They're no longer
Oh, they
KVEO.
changed. Is
Yeah.
that HGBT anymore?
No, KVEO bought them. Channel
Wow.
Channel 23 bought them a couple of years ago. Have you not noticed their broadcasts now? They've got one poor guy who's a weather guy, okay? And he's at certain days he has to do both the weather on 23 and channel 4. So what he does is they've kind of timed the weather segments to be x amount of minutes apart. So anda brincando from one set to another set because they really don't share sets. They share reporters, but they don't share sets. So sometimes they're having to jump back and forth. It's kind of funny. But they at first they had their own set of news reporters. Each side did,
Right.
but they consolidated everything now, so they kind of share the reporters and the weather people and stuff like that. So, but it's kind of
Oh, it
funny.
makes sense.
Yeah,
It
it
makes
makes sense,
sense.
right? It makes sense. I mean, you own both. I mean, it would be one thing for them to kind of share the sets too. I mean, if they wanted to put their logo, they could have some kind of big screen in the back and just put
Changed.
NBC and CBS. But not everybody's as smart as we are.
Right, right. That's the problem.
I mean, we
Yeah.
jump we jump from this set to the regular set, and
Right,
you know
without an
if
issue.
if Elon calls, then I have to switch over to SpaceX. Quick.
Hey, somebody was on Lucia Velez, or my cousin.
Yeah.
She is a avid Houston Texans fan. Good luck, Lucia. Hey, good luck with your team. All right.
Yeah.
No. So, and she
Well.
does live in Houston,
Ah. Okay. So.
and they are season pass holders.
So she'll be at the
So,
game.
hey, wow. I thought it was in Buffalo or Baltimore.
Yeah. By the way, are you drinking your 23 flavors tonight?
You didn't see me?
No, I didn't see you. I was
Yeah,
drinking.
man.
I was
You're
drinking.
too busy.
Uh,
Yeah. You're
I
too
was
busy over there drinking your Wingstop.
actually. It was also 23 flavors. I cheated tonight, so I'm gonna go. I finished my 23 flavors, and now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go have an ice cream sandwich after that.
Oh, hey, that's too much cheating
I
for one
know.
day.
I know. Tell me about it. Do you see that I'm wearing the Cowboys jersey?
Yes, I saw. I saw. Hey,
I'm gonna
you
wash
are.
it. I'm gonna wash it after several months. It's dirtier than my underwear.
No, no, TMI, TMI. And Leo says game is in Baltimore, so yeah,
Yep,
yep.
it's in Baltimore.
So
Oh, so she's not gonna be able to go unless she takes a flight.
right, she won't. No, she won't go. All
So,
right,
well,
unless they
she
have
would
something in Houston.
look. She wouldn't want to go. It's too cold anyway. You know,
No.
it's too
So
cold. So,
yeah, unless they have something in Houston.
well, that's a possibility, right? You know,
It is. Yep.
but I don't
So
know. No, I don't think it's a possibility. They don't have home field advantage at all. I think they're screwed.
well, the broadcasting.
What? Oh, at the stadium at NGR?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, you could do that.
All right, so that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, they could do
Hmm.
that. I've never been to NGR Stadium, so I don't know where their video board is.
Is it NGR NRG?
Whatever. NGR, NRG.
Yeah,
Actually, you know what's funny is I interviewed with that company many, many years ago when they were very small. Back when I lived in Houston. It was a
you
very
interviewed for what?
uh
For
for
Waterboy?
for Waterboy. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Man, good. Hey,
Water
awesome,
well,
awesome, man.
Waterboy with computer chips. So, but they were
You wanted
very,
to do
very
the
small.
players H2O.
Imagine if I would have gotten hired, I would have been rich probably by now.
Yeah, well, see, man, I tell you.
I also interviewed with Enron. I had a great opportunity to work for Enron. Thank God I
You
didn't get the
wanted to
job.
shred documents, huh?
No, I probably would have lost all of my money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You would have been the boy that was shredding documents.
no, no.
You know?
Wiping out emails probably, you know, so but anyway, so that's it for this
Well,
episode, you know.
well,
So
I want to thank all those people that were watching. All right, Leo, Lucia, Rio. Hey, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for coming on the show, and anybody else that was watching, I didn't get to see who it was. Hey, this is an informative sports podcast. All right, that my best friend Dan Salinas has set up and has invited me to help him speak through some of the slides and give our personal opinion. And that's all this is a personal opinion,
yeah,
all right,
we're
of
not
two guys.
experts.
So,
We're not
no,
experts by any means. We
no,
can be
no, no.
wrong. Very few times, but we can be wrong.
Yes, 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 yes. So,
So,
thank you very much for doing your comments, Leo. Hey, we take those comments and we analyze them, and we're like, wow, maybe there is a possibility, right?
yep,
So, but I will say, hey, as the Texas team, go Texans,
that's
right?
right. Go Texans. You
Yeah,
know,
it hurts, but you know what? I have to support my Texas team.
yep.
So
Now, if they were to win, I don't know whether we'd have a pitada or not somewhere.
I don't know. Hey, that's an interesting question, though. Huh?
It probably wouldn't be down on South most. It'd be somewhere in the uppity up places. You know. You know.
No, it'd probably be in Southwest, dude.
You
Right?
think?
Hey, there'd be a whole bunch of Texans fans. Huh?
You think there's some Texans fans out there in Southmost, some H
There's a
Town
lot of
fans?
there's a lot of fans out there, man. You know, when you
Yeah.
least expect it. I went to a local dealership, all right, last Saturday.
Uh huh.
You know, and I was wearing my cowboy outfit, and the service manager comes out with his Houston Texans, right?
Wow.
Jersey.
Well, let me tell you
So
one thing. I would definitely would like to see the Texans win tomorrow, and it's only because it's that way they can thumb their nose at the Tennessee Titans after the stunt they pulled a few weeks ago. You know,
about the Oilers?
where they painted the Oilers Derrick on their football field and wore the uniforms. That was pretty insulting. You know, they know that that's a very raw issue with Houston so many years later, you know?
Yes.
So it would be definitely nice to thumb their noses or any other appendage they would like to the to the Tennessee Titans because they are not the Houston Oilers any longer, and they need to stop wearing those uniforms. So but they did it on purpose to intimidate them. That's all it was. It was just plain intimidation, in my opinion. So
Yes, yes, yes.
you know, I never liked the Oilers uniforms. By the way, I didn't like the color, but I actually like the Texan colors more. But that's just me.
Well, you do know the original Texans was Dallas Texans, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All right.
So,
So, right.
but
So all these names have been used more than once.
they have, they have, but like I said, the Oilers left Houston because they wanted a stadium, and Houston didn't want to foot the bill for a stadium, and that was their
Right.
big pet peeve. So, you know,
Yep.
but alrighty, everybody. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you again on the next episode as the the divisional round concludes on Sunday, and we will have an updated map for you, possibly Sunday night, to give you a an update conference on the conference games coming up.
Right. Championship. So we'll see
Championship.
who survives and who gets on the chopping block.
That's right. That's right. Because Mike McCarthy didn't. That's for sure. He gets to stay.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
All righty, everybody. Well, y'all have a good evening, and we will see you sometime next week.
Yes, sir. Adios and have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.